Hi, I'm Therese Swenson, and we're all still wearing masks, and we're going to be wearing them for another 6 months. So don't forget to have extras. And I've been lately, I mentioned it before, I want to tell you, I've been washing these. I run them through the wash, they lose a little fuzz. But one of the things I notice, people are complaining when they wear this mask, it makes their glasses fog up. So one of the things they suggest, there was an article here about keep your mask, ditch the annoyances. People are finding frustration reasons to give up the mask. But right now we really need to encourage everybody to keep wearing them. And it was something I learned. I mentioned it last week. I want to say it again in case you missed my show. One of the things they found is that this is being spread by viral shedding. And viral shedding is the breath that we have that has moisture in it. And if we wear a mask, we get less. If we should get some exposure, we'll get less symptoms. They're finding that people that didn't wear masks, that got exposed, have more symptoms and misery if they didn't wear a mask. So it is going to help you and protect you, even if we're hoping people build up natural immunity. So have lots of masks. The biggest thing is you get somewhere and you go, oh, I didn't bring my mask. So have more than one, several. I know, I don't like to send people to a dollar store, but they have lots of these just regular cowboy masks, I think. And they're just so reasonable. And they're a quick fix if you need to tie up and go. Also, it might make good for kids for costumes if they're going to be going around the neighborhood and trying to do a little trick-or-treating. I know it's going to be reduced this year, but there are some people that are going to have a way to, I don't know how to make it work, because thank God I don't have young kids. The other thing is, it's the time of year where us ladies are getting all our scarves out and things, and these are something we can use in a pinch. If you had to and you forgot to bring one and you have a scarf on, you could always take it off and tie it on. So keep that in mind, that the more extra scarves you wear, and I had said before, if you just I wear a shirt on my back with the sleeves, and if ever I forget a mask, I can quick tie the sleeves on. So I just want to remind you, we still have to think about this every day. Don't walk out the door without your mask. Also, they say people are having the dry skin. Some people, like John said this morning, if you have to wear the mask for more than an hour, it seems to chafe or trouble you more. So I want to remind you, while we're talking about COVID and being careful, I just want to remind you about these wipes. These are wonderful to use in your house, like for your computers and your doorknobs and things. The ones that are actually antibacterial. But do not throw them in a toilet. I just want to remember to say that again, because if they get into the sewer system, they're not like paper. They don't dissolve. So make sure that you put these in a trash can and not in a sewer system. Keep that in mind. So that is the one bit of helpful hints from Heloise I want to mention about that. Now that I'm talking to you here from the Siskiyou Media Council, we're in Southern Weed on the main boulevard. We're at the back entrance of the college, and we have 2 stations I'm recording to show on. It's SiskiyouMediaCouncil.org is how you find us, but we have MCTV, which is our Mountain Community Television Channel 15, but we also have YCTV, which is Channel 4. So in Wairika, North County, they have Channel 4, and South County, Channel 15, but you're able to find us on the web. If there's something going on in your city meetings are captured there, and you can find them in archives. Also, this is most important, the YouTube. If you go to YouTube and you type in Siskiyou Media Council, they will show the most recent uploads that we've placed in the files. Some of them may be older shows that we've discovered because we've moved our office and we've found a lot of old archives that may be of interest. So we're reviving old shows. So it may not be in chronological order, but usually the stuff that we're doing here in the studio, Arthur or who else is coming in here? Andre. Different people are coming in and recording. Those will be in the upper part. So don't get discouraged by the date. So public access television is something I like to encourage everybody to get involved in. We have not only on your local cable, but the website you can go, and also now YouTube. So if there's something that you're interested in, a message you want to get across, remember that you can submit something to a public access station that's under 28 minutes so that we can fold it in the half-hour programming. But you can submit something and we'll show it. So if you have 28 minutes of great photos, or if you want to do a little, I don't know what you might be interested in sharing with someone. You just took a car apart and put it back together. If you took snapshots, or a little motor, or you fixed your lawnmower, or you have a secret of how to get that lawnmower to start first thing in the spring by pouring gasoline on the sponge, I think they say it helps it start first. Anyway, little things like that. If you have any helpful hints and you want to share garden tips, just think about it. Or maybe you like to cook. I'd love it if somebody go down and film that girl in Dunsmuir. Oh, I forget what her dinners are called. But every Tuesday, if you get on her list, she has this gourmet dinner for 4. And she drives 2 places for an hour, one for an hour and one for an hour, and distributes these meals. Wouldn't it be great if we could film her or take snapshots of the wonderful gourmet dinners she's making? I think her name's Lisa. I could be so wrong. But anyway, I should have got her name before. I should be more prepared. Okay, about being prepared. Are you prepared? You know, we had forest fires rip through southern Oregon. I'm going to talk to you about that a little bit. But I just want to remind you this question about whether or not you're prepared. One way to have less stress. This morning when I was coming, you just couldn't see anything. There was so much smoke in the valley. One way, the Black Butte, you could hardly see it until you were upon it. One way to be prepared is to just think about those few things that are the most important papers, like your maybe the taxes or the insurance or your medical cards, Social Security cards, passport. What else do I have at the front door? I have a file box that's full of the most important numbers that I might need to call in or check with property taxes, maybe. Anyway, just have a file box or a box, any kind of box, ready to go that you can just throw your medicines into, or, a favorite piece of jewelry or something, but you might not have time to pack up your house. So one of the things that can reduce stress is if you thought about it ahead of time. Now we are getting into cooler times, and I want to believe we're going to have rain, and I want to believe that we're getting out of fire season. But I know there's a lot of dry leaves and pine needles, and the leaves are starting to fall. So we still could have thunder showers with lightning. We still could have fires start up again because they're not over. There's so many in the state of California and Southern Oregon, and we're all so grateful to those firefighters that have spent literally days and weeks. Forest fires start from scratch. So think before you strike that match. We have to remind people that think they want to go out camping and they can be safe. The little bit of ash goes up in the air. This is a sign I have to remind people to not throw out a cigarette on the old road. No smoking for not very far. Keep your butt in the car. So listen, there was a meeting down in Sacramento. I just want to acknowledge that a Supervisor Haupt went down to Sacramento and actually met with President Trump. He was invited as part of this, what was it? It was called the Red Cross. How did they have this meeting? Sacramento, Ray Haupt, a registered professional forester, and Siskiyou County District 5 supervisor, was invited by the White House to give a report about what's going on. I think after Newsom spoke, they allowed he motioned for Haupt to talk, and he talked about what's going on out at Happy Camp and in Northern California. It's kind of like what happened at Paradise. they lost so many homes so fast. And so we were represented. The president is aware of Northern California now. So also I want to talk about Talent Oregon when I want to talk about fires. If I could show a few pictures, John, if I can switch over to the uh-oh, I don't want everybody to know my code. Oh no. Okay, so here was a picture I had. This is Arno Street. If you're able to see this, this is basically where the fire started on Highway 99. And where am I get my bearings? This is Highway 99 that goes north from Ashland. From this way it goes north. And this is where Arnos and the Pacific Highway, and this stop sign's melted. I don't know if you can see that, but I wanted to go to another picture. This is the trailer park that was right there, and it's Talent Estates, and they had dropped a borate line to try and stop that fire from raging, but my friend Lynn lives right at the top of the street and her house was saved, and she made this sign, bringing our neighbors home. Losing their homes was losing it all. Donate at Rogue Valley Voices. Now, roguevalleyvoices.org, they're with the public access station. I forgot to mention that at the beginning. We have a public access television in Southern Oregon, where John and I also have worked for 10 years producing shows. And in Southern Oregon, the Rogue Valley Voices helps distribute money to the different areas and the needs of the community. And so this made it an easy, already set up way for people to help their neighbors. But there was like a whole trailer park, just like in Weed when they had that fire blaze through all the way to, what was that called, that little valley on the other side? Angel Valley, isn't that what it was called? So anyway, we experienced fire here, but also in Southern California, or in Northern California, but south of here, the wine country has been, oh, that's okay, I'll hold them up. The wine country, maybe I can try it, let me see. Oh gosh, we're going back and forth, getting our signal crossed here. So in California, the wine countries have been involved in the fires. There's been lots of, I love newspapers. Vacaville, there was some great pictures there. The Chronicle had an article about, I don't know if I can get this in here. Anyway, we're able to see that these wildfires are everywhere. And 4 tips to be prepared for evacuation. Know your resources. It's so important to know where to go and a phone number that you might call. It's also important to sign up for an alert system if you can. You need to have your extra doses of medication, a little bit of food and water because you don't know how long you're going to be gone. Flashlights. Sometimes you just go away for an evacuation and then you come home. Know the route you're going to go. This was something they used to do on TV and with when I was working with CAL FIRE, we used to say have an exercise with the kids where you talk to them. It's really important for a family because people work out of the home. It's really important for families to have a Sunday dinner, and talk about where they're going to go if there should be, everybody's not at home, that they'd all agree to meet somewhere. Have an agreed meeting place. And everybody in the house, go through and just put a few important things that are important to you in a small box. Everybody should have a box at the front door for the next 4 to 6 weeks until we get through this dry season. And we really get, by Thanksgiving, we usually have rain and snow. So, I want to believe that we won't have another fire, and I want to believe that people will be very careful and not be camping, and no forest fires and no gender reveals. Just bake a cake, you know? So that was something I wanted to talk to you about, the fires, and share with you about what we did up in Talent, Oregon. That television station up there, I don't know if we have a lower third for this, is when I do... okay, we don't. Rogue Valley Television is rvtv.sou.edu. So it's involved with the Southern Oregon University. We have a digital media center. Somewhere I have a copy of our programming guide that I hold up and tell you, because they have many producers, wonderful food, yoga, artist at your doorstep. They have many great programs up there that you can find in archives. So I'd like to encourage you again, that's Rogue Valley, rvtv.sou.edu. Check it out. Digital Media Center is at the corner of Walker and Webster by that new student housing. We have a wonderful studio that's not open at this time. All of us are doing remote shows and then providing them to our series. I have a series you might have seen. I've done some other shows. Today, I'm kind of talking about tech update, which I'll get to in just a minute. John's letting me know my time is halftime. This is halftime. So I like to remind you there's so many things in the paper. I like to tell everybody to get the paper. Nowadays, you're home. You have time to, whether or not you want the food section or sports or just even this entertaining things like, who are these people? This is Hoda and Jenna Bush Hager. I don't really watch this, but they were talking about some of the things they're doing to live in the moment and connect with family and, find a support system. We all need somebody that we can kind of express our frustration and hope for making a difference. Now, it also says maybe it's time for healthy habits. Well, that brings up something, John. I have that little picture of the potatoes. Healthy habits, and I cough. I've been sitting in these lights. Okay, so with the Sesame Blues, I used to hold up a bag of Doritos and I used to hold up a bag of potatoes, but I don't have those with me today. So the idea was to say the same amount of money that you would spend on chips that you would eat pretty quick, you can make more meals if you get the bag of potatoes. I just brought that for a visual, but really it's Doritos and a bag of potatoes. Doritos are gone in 30 minutes and the bag of potatoes could be 3 or 4 meals. Okay, also the other reason to get your paper, because there's local measures that you're going to need to know about. And this one's important. John, see if I can catch this little headline. Can I get that one? Okay, this is important. Our coffee break celebrates 20 years. Okay, I have to read it now and get her. So a fixture at Rite Aid parking lot in Mount Shasta is the coffee break, and it's been there for 20 years. Suzanne Mendenhall, she founded this drive-through coffee joint 20 years ago. So I just wanted to share that. Oh, sorry. And we don't have to do that again. Also about the paper is, this was wonderful. A bunch of people created a garden in McLeod, and they created a garden in McLeod, and all these people got together. This was Angie Torreson's friends from her quilting and bunco groups. So this is a good time for us if we're staying in our small pot of people and we're trying not to bring that COVID virus into our communities. We've been pretty good. I want to remind everybody that in Siskiyou County, like I said in the very beginning, I mean, the streets were deserted for weeks while we had our shutdown. And then when people came back, we've all been pretty good about wearing masks and respecting each other's space. Because it's not just protecting ourselves, but we're protecting anyone that in our circle. And so that's what I want to say. Also, what I love lately, there's been so many great letters to the editors and opinions, and people are writing. And so I want to remind you that this is a good time to pick up a pen if you're to get inspired. What else I want to talk to you about? I want to make sure you're registered to vote. John, I want to put up those phone numbers. One of the things, are you registered to vote? Does your representative represent you? This is the voting, just to let your representative know how you feel, 202-224-3121. And that would be calling the House of Representatives. So if you don't know who your representative is, they will connect you with your state representative or assemblyman, whether it's a congressman or a senator. But we, the people, I mean, we really, we have a civic duty. And we can make a difference, and your vote counts. So not only do I want to make sure that everybody out there has put their pen to a census paper for the address of their home, please be sure you've completed that. I think we have the rest of this month. But I also want to make sure you're registered to vote. Some places had until the 9th and maybe the 15th. Make sure you're registered to vote. At least you'll have a choice. You may feel aggravated and exhausted by this process, but please be registered. And then, of course, they tell everybody, make a plan, make sure you call one person, make sure if somebody needs a ride, you can take them to drop off their ballot at the polling place or the county clerk or a polling box. So that's one thing. Okay, now I want to talk about technology. I'm going to lose time if I don't get to it. And the reason I want to talk about this is privacy is so important. We're all kind of seeing this a little bit. The Facebook launched a new TikTok clone, and I guess it's called Instagram Reels. Is that what it's called? Instagram Reels. That kind of goes back to in the old days we had reels of film. Anyway, Facebook has launched that. And the reason I bring this up is Samsung has new phones that have privacy concerns as well. We need to be thinking about our privacy, whether or not we intend for somebody to understand. If you're searching for something, you will find that oftentimes your searches will bring you other advertisements. If you're checking out soap or something, or new washers or whatever you're checking out, socks, I don't care what it is, all of a sudden the advertisements will come to you. They're kind of following what you're tracking. Now, the reason I brought that up today is I was thinking something on television this morning was talking about how televisions have the ability, because people are now using them and doing a lot of Wi-Fi and things on their televisions, they're tracking them and their interests and the shows they watch, and anything that you might use your television for could be in a data sharing access. So keep that in mind. I want to remind you to check your privacy settings. You can do that on your TV. You can go to settings and check privacy. I want you to do that. Same thing on your phone. Ask somebody if you don't know how to do it. But that reminds me about phones. I want to remind you on your phone that you're supposed to turn it off like every once in a while. I mean, if you don't do it every night and plug it in, you're supposed to turn your phone off. Before you turn it off, close all the windows, because those are drawing power or data or something. And also go through your history on your searches. Like I have Bing or I have Safari. I go there and I can close all those windows I ever looked at. And that'll help your phone conserve power. And then turn it off. Now, one idea, if you're going to turn it off and let it just recalculate and restore, you want to maybe set it down. On Sunday morning show, they always give you a minute of sound in the forest or with a rippling, what's that called, a rippling brook? And they give you something wonderful, birds that you hear. So I want to remind you that we need to, maybe with our kids and our family, everybody is so tied to their phone. It was kind of when they came out with that new watch, the Time magazine cover. I should get a copy of it. It says always online. Is that what it said? And now everything is in their watch, is always online everywhere they go, everything. And possibly, I don't think they record on their watch. But on your phone, you might want to step away from it. Have everybody agree in the house, let's plug our phone in during dinner. We don't need to respond. If you're not on call 24-hour doctor, then you could set your phones down for an hour or a half hour or whatever minutes you can try and get where everybody communicates without using their fingers and computer. We need to step away. And also, I want to remind you again about sitting up straight. I'm just as bad because I get to curled up. I want to remind you to watch your posture, stand up straight, stretch, get away from that computer. I love to say, we're not too old to be lifting something and get strong. We've got to keep those arms going and keep our blood going. So be sure that you're getting up every 15 or 30 minutes and either walking around or going outside or getting fresh air or doing push-ups against the counter. There's things that you can do in the house so you don't have to go to the gym. There's different exercises you can do with bands or just lifting your leg, something called isometric, where you just lift your legs and hold them up, makes that muscle stronger. So think about that. So privacy, what was my notes about that? To be sure to, information in and out is the thing, is that you're searching things and it brings in certain things and that you'll be provided suggestions. So look into your privacy settings, because you might want to have privacy. You may not care. A lot of people just flat out don't care. Go ahead, look where I've been, But I don't want to be solicited with ads and emails. We're all kind of feeling like we're getting too many this how to slow the avalanche of email. That was one of the things they were talking about, people working at home, not only security. That was the other reason I brought up security. A lot of people are working at home. You might want to double check and get advice about your emails. It's with a few seconds, people with misery. What was it saying? I read this and now I'm trying to remember the important punchline. I hit an overload, you started unsubscribing to things and trying to, it's just, we've all noticed that we're getting inundated and we don't have time to watch those wonderful segments that everybody saved for us. I actually sent one to John today, but we don't have time to use it. And one more thing about the paper. Can I say one more thing about the paper? You know, your paper, it also, sometimes some of the bigger papers, they have a kids only section and it has games and crosswords for kids. And I think it's really important that we, not just buying a crossword book, but if you get the paper every week, there's a section that has, there's two different sections that have the crossword. This one also has a crossword. If you get this little TV guide, is it in the very end? Oh, well, you know what I mean. Do you know what I mean? So there's a wonderful crossword in the back. And why that's important, we have to keep our mind, all our synapses going. And so doing crosswords is a good thing to do for fun. Let me just talk really quick. There's a family resource guide that's wonderful. This is available in this in Siskiyou County, but every county makes these now. And they allow people to advertise that it has food things in it. It has places to go for taking kids. There's places to be outdoors while they're learning. There's so much in this. Where to celebrate outdoors. Maybe it's time for a piano. People were kind of trying to give away pianos for a long time. Another thing I wanted to talk about is a COVID job hunt. I was saying to people, we noticed that when this pandemic hit, a lot of people lost their jobs and may not be going back to them. But it may mean it's a fork in the road where you'll take on a new career that maybe you always wanted. So maybe you'll take homeschooling, or maybe you'll do an art, or maybe like people made masks all over. We have people making masks and we're going to need them for 6 months. So it's a great thing for people to experiment. But don't forget, it has to have that little wire in the top. And if you press it down on your nose, it may help to keep from fogging up your glasses. So now it's a great time to network. You know, let's see, discrimination of age. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to apply for something and think I'm too old for that. You may pivot to another field. It may not be what you have your degree in. There was always something you wanted to do. Your search could be slow or quick. You know, you just never know. You might just open up to a page and find what you're looking for, but you might have to troll through many things. But expand your vision on what you can do. I just want to remind you to that. Also, what else did I want to cover? There's so many piles of things I wanted to talk to you about, but it's not a good time to start a new one. I want to talk about don't be too proud to go to the, do you have that for the lunches? Please don't be too proud to take every county offers at my Mount Shasta City Park. They have senior lunches. Don't be too proud. They're yummy. She's a really good cook. She puts your lunch on, rolls it out, you pick it up and leave. So it's not like you're taking a chance of getting COVID. All the counties have created ways to distribute lunches. They're now doing it 4 days a week. And it's so important with seniors because oftentimes they get in the habit of not cooking. And so they want to just eat packaged food, which is not good for you. We need as much. She's always got fruit. You know, she always has a teeny bit of sugar if it's grapes or something sweet for dessert, and a peach or an orange or something. And she makes yummy things like baked chicken, and she made chicken enchiladas, and she made a spinach. She's just a good cook. And I know it's true for all the counties. And the more people that take advantage, the more money they get for their program. So if you have a senior or an elder, you have to be 60 to take advantage. Of course, you can go and pay for lunch, but seniors have free lunch. Please take advantage. Another thing, go to the library. I'd love for people to be donating their books and things. Oftentimes you can get books for 10 cents each. Now the current National Geographic is about dinosaurs. So if your kids are doing that in school, you might want to grab that. I don't need to show you the pictures, you understand. But I've been picking up old National Geographics, and you know, it's just some of the pictures are great if they're old. I just want to, one of them had a great thing where they were talking about recycling. And you know what was amazing about this? The date. What was the date of this? July 94. And it's still interesting and has wonderful ideas. I think my time is running out. He's given me the wave. So remind, San Francisco posts all their top restaurants that are still open, but we still have Main Street markets that I'd like to have you remember. You can call and order a meal maybe once a week. I know we're all learning how to cook and use everything in our refrigerator, but I just got the motion cut. Therese Swenson, thank you for joining me.
there's a problem we've got to solve.